and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. Okay, so we had two cards that fell out. We had the Ace of Chalices and we have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Two of Chalices. We have the Ten of Chalices. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the King of Chalices. Oops. We have the Magician on the bottom of the deck. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know where this is going. I'm going to take just one more card of clarity here as confirmation of the message that I'm getting through this. Okay, yeah, we got the Seven of Chalices. Okay. So one thing that's interesting about the Ace of Chalices is that in the positive polarity, this is a card of overflow. This is a card of abundance. This is a card of emotional abundance specifically. This is a card of everything emotionally starting from within. This is a card of inner fulfillment. And then we have the Magician here, which is also about as within, so without. So whatever is happening on the inside is what's reflected back to you in your external world. Now I'm seeing that a lot of you are wanting more of this overflow, more fulfillment, specifically when it comes to your emotional well-being. You've been working on trying to be more independent, but what I'm picking up here is that some of you are sort of dodging these bullets where it's like you keep getting in these situations where there's not a good reciprocity or balance in your relationships. One of you or both of you tend to overgive in certain situations. There's just sort of a lack of understanding or a lack of emotional availability or a lack of being able to come together on the same page or come together on the same footing. The reason is you are focusing on trying to be independent and resolve some of these things, but you're doing it in a way where it's like you're just redirecting the energy. You're not getting to the root of understanding where the energy is coming from. You are sort of, you know what it is? It's like you're treating the symptom instead of treating the actual problem. That's what's happening here. The Ten of Chalices typically in a reading has to do with fulfillment and happiness in your relationships and the different relationships in your life. One thing about this particular deck and this particular card, this card for the Ten of Chalices in this particular deck not only indicates the care and dedication to all of your relationships, but how you are attracting them. Notice how there's these two people and they are coming together over sharing these different emotional experiences. In a positive polarity, this is an understanding where it's like you're meeting each other on an emotional level and an emotional understanding, but in the negative, this means that you are attracting people based off of trauma bonds, karma, unhealed wounds, those sort of things. So if you've been feeling a lot like you keep dating these people who end up being illusions, or it's like everything seems all fine and dandy in the beginning, but then it sort of fizzles out, it's likely because you're treating the symptom, you're not treating the problem. You're being prompted to go deeper in this reading. You're being prompted to figure out what the root cause is. Now, a lot of people struggle with figuring out the root cause because they often want to look at the problem as being always somebody else. Remember that we heal the darkest parts of ourselves through the lights of awareness. So in order to first make a shift, we have to be aware of what we are doing to perpetuate a cycle or continue the cycle or welcome or attract the energy that we are attracting. We have to take accountability accountability for our part in the situation. Now, that doesn't mean that you've been treated badly, that you deserve it, or that you've been doing something wrong this whole time. What it means is that you may not be understanding certain energies or certain things about yourself that are making these energies work more against you than for you, or not working for you in the best way that serves your highest timeline. This is going to sound weird, but I promise you, if you can kind of try to take a different perspective on this, it will help you. Typically, when you're stuck in a negative cycle or you're stuck in a situation that is not serving you, where it kind of keeps repeating the cycle, it's because you haven't learned the lesson of that karmic cycle. To take that a step further, there's typically an attachment to that cycle that's either one, giving you some sort of emotional gratification, or two, it's reinforcing some sort of belief. The first thing you would need to do is you would need to figure out what the pattern, cycle, limiting belief, whatever it is. So let's just say being late all the time, because that's an easy one. Then the second thing you need to do is figure out, okay, what's my emotional attachment to being late all the time? Well, I guess I like the excitement or the adrenaline of always being late and never being on time, always having to rush, always having to be right on the edge, whether or not I'm going to make it or not. That could be the emotional fulfillment. That's just an example. Then you figure out if it's just an emotional gratification or if it's both an emotional gratification and also some sort of limiting belief that's being reinforced or negative belief that's being reinforced. One of those, so one example of that would be, well, maybe you always believe that there's never enough time in a day. That would be a limiting belief around time management. So then you reinforce that belief by always being late. Or another example would be, I'm just not very good at managing my time. That would be reinforcing a negative belief. When you can figure out what the attachment is behind some of these situations, what you're getting out of the negative. And that may sound silly to be like, well, I'm not happy, I'm not getting anything out of the negative. Well, then why aren't you letting it go? It's because you're reinforcing some sort of negative belief that's not serving you, or it's because you're getting some sort of emotional gratification. Once you figure out those two things, whether it's one or both of them, you can shift it so that it's in a healthier, more productive use of that energy or that emotional gratification, whatever. So for example, if you are finding that the only reason you're late is because you like the excitement of being late, then you can then figure out, okay, I need more adventure in my life. Maybe instead of always being late, I can go once a week to a new coffee shop or something else that brings you some sort of excitement or adrenaline, whatever floats your boat. But the point is, when you figure out what your attachment is, you can break the cycle by breaking the attachment, because once you look at the attachment, it makes you look at yourself on a deeper level. What is it that I am getting out of this negative experience that I keep then perpetuating the cycle? It allows you to take back your power and take accountability in a way that if you're just over here saying, oh, well, it's always something else, or I have no power over the situation, you are literally making it so you have no power over the situation. So then the energies are in that state of you don't have any power because that's what you decided. Specifically in relationships, this gets complicated because in relationships specifically, there can be a lot of things that can go into why there's certain karmic cycles that are getting repeated, why there's certain things, maybe there's certain external validations you're looking for, things like that from your partner, from the relationship itself. That requires you to take a very deep dive look at, okay, what is it that I'm missing, or what need or desire do I think I'm fulfilling or that I'm looking to fulfill, and how am I looking to fulfill it? Once you take a look at some of those things, it will help you figure out exactly what you need to do and what needs to shift and why. But if you keep on treating only the symptoms, you will continue to have the same problems, but maybe just slightly different, because you're not actually learning and applying the lesson. You're just treating the symptom. I'm going to leave the reading here. If this reading resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and comment down below your affirmation, which is, we'll just make it easy. I am learning to treat the problem, not the symptoms of the things that are out of alignment in my desired timeline. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.